Morning, friends, and my dear friends on the dais. The name of the session is Aadhaar-based service deliveries. What we are going to do is I'll just sort of introduce the subject by sort of throwing some light as to what Aadhaar is, what Aadhaar is capable of doing, and what Aadhaar does. And then, of course, the rest of our colleagues on the panel will explain as to what is the area, because they are the people in the field who are implementing the Aadhaar-based service deliveries and are actually actualizing the potential what Aadhaar is capable of. And therefore, I leave that kind of thing for them. So just to quickly summarize how this whole project has been started and what we have done thus far and what are the properties of this number. Let me just begin that Aadhaar is an identity infrastructure. Contrary to the identity infrastructures created in various countries, it has a very unique context in our country where the motivator or the driver has been the development, not really the security. In our country, there are a large number of people who do not have any formal ID proof, and therefore they are not able to access various formal systems and services. So one of the contexts was to create an ID, to provide IDs to those who do not have one. That's one. Secondly, many of these service delivery domains have their own databases, and because these domains seek to provide benefits to people, there are a lot of leakages taking place due to the ghost and duplicate beneficiaries in each of these databases. So one of the objectives was, how do you create a ID infrastructure where one person is able to get only one ID? And therefore, the name of the authority itself is Unique ID Authority of India. Now, I don't know whether the authority is unique or the ID is unique, but uniqueness is certainly an overarching objective of the sort of planners or the people in the government. And therefore, if you are able to create unique ID for each person, then you will be able to ensure that a person is not able to get more than one entry into any database. So this is the context of creating this entire project. Now, having done that, we have spent a lot of effort. We had spent about 1 year in actually giving a lot of thoughts to the design of the project. And some of the design principles which we adopted were, A was that, we will be minimalistic in our approach. So we have separated identity from eligibility. There were a lot of people who were saying, why don't you put in the, whether the person is a BPL or not, whether he belongs to a minority community for getting the minority benefits, whether he's an income tax payee, what is his language, mother tongue, etc., etc. So there was a propensity, or there was a lot of, pressure to put everything into that database. But we consciously decided that we will do only identity infrastructure and not the eligibility part, because the rest is all eligibility. Whether a fellow is BPL or not makes him eligible for a number of benefits, and that's not our domain. And in fact, if we would have included those attributes also, we would not have done this project at all. We will all be sort of involved in deciding as to how. So basically, we said identity is a common problem across all domains, and therefore we will solve that common problem. So this is the minimalistic approach. Secondly, we have taken a conscious decision to essentially make it an open source standard based project. From an IT architectural point of view, our entire backend is based on open source. So we have all the open source products which are available for many kinds of things, databases, operating systems, messaging queues, etc., etc. So that's another part. Then we said we will not use proprietary, sort of hardware. So the entire thing is based on a custom, sort of commodity hardware. So it's a scale, once you keep on increasing the number, you just keep on adding the boxes to that backend infrastructure. So that's another design principle. So there are, I don't want to go into detail of each of these principles, But the whole thing has been designed as an open source standard based architecture, which is actually not an application, which is just a foundation. And that is why the name Aadhaar. It is actually a platform for development of applications. So it's an open source platform, open platform with which people can interface with standard well-defined APIs. And because it's a platform, a lot of applications can be developed onto it. So that's another characteristics of it. The other thing which we have done and which is very, very unique in the whole world is providing an online real-time authentication. So essentially from a no ID to an online ID is our paradigm. We have leapfrogged from a situation where many people don't have ID to a situation where everybody will have an online, electronic, transportable, portable identity, which can be authenticated anywhere. And actually, the uniqueness property and the authentication property are the two properties which bring about the application potential of Aadhaar. Uniqueness ensures there are no duplication fakes, and authentication ensures that you are able to, at the point of service delivery, you are able to authenticate in a non-reputable manner your presence there, and that opens up for a number of applications such as banking, such as PDS, other kinds of applications. It also, is a very, very cost-effective infrastructure which can enable a lot of applications to scale out in the field. So, for example, banking applications, you cannot do banking transactions unless you authenticate that you are the right person. So, UID now provides a third-party authentication, trusted third-party authenticators we are, and using that authentication, then subsequent authorizations into the core banking system or into a PDS system or into other systems can take place. So essentially the philosophy is that we take away the authentication responsibility of each of the service providers and enable them to focus on their core areas of service delivery rather than on the area of authentication. So a lot of these agencies which are doing their own biometric enrollments, own smart cards and other things can be saved from this kind of hassle of creating their own identity and authentication infrastructure. So again, a platform-based approach makes it a sort of platform where other applications can kind of use it for various purposes. We are also trying to help the ecosystem partners, which is the state governments and central ministries to begin with. It will also be, of course, private sector partners, where we are providing them this infrastructure free of cost till December of 2013, and thereafter, of course, even if the pricing takes place, it will be in consultation with all the ecosystem partners. That is one. And secondly, we are also helping them in developing applications. So all kinds of applications we can provide as an incubation kind of facility. We are providing a number of tools where the different departments can, with ease seed their databases with Aadhaar numbers. We are having these SRDH facilities, State Resident Data Hub. We are also providing the Aadhaar seeding platform. So essentially, again, we are providing a number of tools to ensure that Aadhaar adoption in various applications can take place. So essentially, this is the framework. As for the progress, we have done about 25 crores enrollments thus far, 21.5 crores Aadhaar generation thus far, and we are planning that by end of 2014, we would have done about 600 million Aadhaars, maybe more than that, because the Registrar General of India, who is also one of our registrars, will also do enrollments, and that will cover the thing. Within 2 years of the launch of the first Aadhaar in September of 2010, the Aadhaar-enabled services and applications were launched nationwide on 20th of October 2012 in Tudu in Rajasthan. So that's from where we have launched these services. Many of our partners are extremely, innovative, aggressive in terms of deploying these applications, and I'm very happy to report to you that many state governments have taken really transformational steps to transform the service delivery scenario using this infrastructure and using this tool, and many of our colleagues are here on the dais, and I think it will be much more interesting to hear from them their experiences thus far. I am sure there are a lot of challenges because creating an infrastructure is one part, but using that infrastructure and using the potential of the infrastructure and applications is another ball game. And there are a lot of field challenges which acquire a lot of vested interest. There are a lot of lobbies. I mean, they have to face a whole lot of these challenges, and it will be interesting to hear from them as to how they are facing these challenges. This is a short introduction. I don't know whether it was short or not, but this is what I wanted to share with you. Now, maybe you have a well-defined order, or what? How do you proceed? Do I have that responsibility? Yeah. So what I'll do is this, as per the order given to this sequence given to me, I'll now invite Vibha Agrawal, VP of Government Business in CA Technologies Limited, to share her experiences. Thank you very much.